Hello and welcome to Movies That Matter, the podcast where entertainment is subjective and that's not a bad thing. I'm your host, Chris Flaherty, and thank you for joining us again from the podcast studio at Burlington Cable Access Television. Today we'll be discussing Disney's The Princess and the Frog, which was released on December 11th, 2009. It was directed by the duo of Ron Clements and John Musker from a screenplay by them and Rob Edwards. The film features the voices of Anika Noni Rose, Bruno Campos, Keith David, and Jim Cummings, just to name a few. And now I would like to welcome my guest today who is here to talk about the film with me, Kayla Pierce, a content creator on TikTok doing deep dives on Disney films, parks, and history. Kayla, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. When you said Princess and the Frog, well, first I wasn't surprised because I know you love Princess and the Frog. I follow you on TikTok. But I think this film definitely deserves a lot more love, and I really fell in love with it when it first came out back in 2009. So very excited to talk about this film.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
All right. So just to start out in your own words, can you tell us what this film is about?
The Princess and the Frog is Disney's take on the Frog Prince, but in this twist of the version of the movie, they have made it so the main character finds a frog and then kisses that frog because she's trying to get a restaurant, but instead of her turning the frog turning into a prince, she turns into a frog, and chaos ensues, essentially.
Yeah. Do you remember how you first discovered news about this film?
It was definitely very early on. It was in the early, very first news article days when it was just concept art of her with her big curly hair, and it just said new Disney princess movie coming. I was very excited about it. I am a Disney girl. I'm third generation Disney adult. So finding out that there's a new Disney princess coming that was Black, and I think this early on we knew it was in New Orleans because I grew up right outside of New Orleans for a little bit. I was ecstatic. I was so excited.
Awesome. Can you tell me about the first time you saw it?
Yes. I was in the middle of rehearsals for a Christmas show. I was exhausted, but it was very important to me that we saw the very, very first possible screening that I possibly could. So on December 10th at midnight, we went to the showing in Orange County, California somewhere. And I remember I brought my sister and two friends of ours, and one of them fell asleep, and I was very disappointed in them. But I was glued to the screen for the entire film. Amazing.
As a woman of color, what was it like to see a Black Disney princess for the first time?
It was crazy because being such a Disney kid, I had always just found my way to relate to certain Disney characters, and I never really thought why don't I have a Black princess? It was just, it just didn't even cross my mind. So I found relatability with Belle because she had brown hair, or Esmeralda, who's not a princess, but because she had brown skin and she kind of looked like me, and Jasmine and all of those characters. And when we got Tiana, it was kind of like an emotional shift. I felt a confidence that I had never realized I wasn't feeling at the time.
That's awesome. Has your stance on the film's representation changed at all in the 16 years since it came out?
It hasn't. It's shifted, but not so much the way that I see the movie, but more how I see that other people see the movie. Because I was 19 years old. Well, no, 20 years old when the movie came out. So for me, I was already an adult. But seeing how other people grew up with it, it has definitely shifted my idea of it, just because for me, I was an adult watching all of this. I knew what beignets were. I knew what gumbo was. I knew the streets that she was on. So I was able to dissect the movie. But seeing now adults talking about how they grew up with this movie, I dissect it. I dissect it still, of course, a lot. But I feel much less cynical about my dissecting of it. I feel a little bit more, I can see why that's their magical movie. That's their childhood magical movie. And I can find the magic much more easily than I used to be able to.
As someone who lived in New Orleans, what was it like seeing Disney bring the city to life?
It was I remember talking to my sisters about this because we just left the theater going, and then they had the river, and they had the beignets, and they had the gumbo. That was crazy. And Ray talked like our uncle, and it was so accurate to see. That's what makes it so hard for me to like really see it like a fairy tale, because I'm like, it was so directly, like everything was something that could tie back to something I know in my life.
That's awesome. New Orleans is on my travel bucket list. I gotta get down there.
I highly recommend it. Yeah. It's a great place.
Other than the city, what really sticks out with you, not just when you first watched it, but when you rewatch it nowadays?
I think it's the difference in attention to detail, not even just attention to detail, the realism from the city to the food to the personalities to the goals of the characters. I feel like it's one of the more fleshed out Disney movies ever made. When I actually like sit and think about it, I know all of those characters so individually without it even needing to be like this deep dive thing, but the characters have so much substance to them.
It is a really well-written cast. I said to myself when I was rewatching, like, this is like one of the best ensembles in a Disney film. Like, I love them all, and we could talk about them all, obviously. Any specific viewings that stick out in your memory, like when you watched it at a certain time with a certain person?
Besides the very first, I actually, because I lied about the first time I saw it, technically, I saw the first few minutes of it because they did an early release of the movie before it came out. And I had it downloaded to my laptop, and I was on tour at the time. And I memorized it. I'd watched it so many times that I had it memorized. But I do remember downloading it and crying immediately, just seeing like the stars in the sky and then going down to the house, and I'm like, I know where that is. I know what that is. And it was so magical reading The Frog Prince in the beginning of the story. But there were lines that changed from the release that they gave to what they actually ended up in the movie. It was a very, very slight change, but it was a good change.
Okay. Is this a film you rewatch a lot with your family? I know you're third generation Disney adult.
With my family, not so much. I think just because I was an adult when it came out. We have all watched it many times, everyone in my family, but usually when I watch it, it's a by myself thing or maybe with my husband. But my family is all grown up, and so I know that they've seen it a lot, but not as a group.
Among the cast, who really, I know it's hard because they're all so good, but who among the cast really sticks out to you?
As performers or as characters?
Well, let's go as performers and then we'll go characters.
Okay. Is Ray Jim Cummings?
Yes, he is.
Ray. That goes so hard, honestly. Like the performance that he gives and his ability to do that accent. I don't know his personal background. I'm sure he has some sort of tie to Louisiana, but that's my uncle. Like fully,
Really?
that's my uncle, and it's hilarious and heartwarming at the same time. I think Ray's kind of the best in the whole movie.
Great. Thoughts on Tiana's arc in the film?
I have so many mixed feelings about it. It's really hard to like talk about Tiana's arc just because if I can look at it as a fairy tale, and I can look at it as like a Disney fairy tale, and I can look at it as a standalone film. Standalone film, incredible. I think it's interesting because her working hard is the whole thing, and she has to learn to like trust and love and all that kind of stuff, and that's important, but it also I feel like everyone else has a bigger arc than she does. I think that she knows from the beginning what her plan is. How she gets there is not what she expected, but what she dreams of for the most part does happen for her. She just also has family and love that comes with it, which is really special. I just don't think it's very much of an arc compared to some of the other characters. Yeah.
Something I always wondered, and I'm coming at it from a different perspective, but I always wondered, it seemed like the narrative was kind of pushing her towards getting married and finding love and stuff and not focusing on her career. And I wasn't entirely sure if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, it felt like they were kind of like dumbing down the concept of what she actually wanted and changing her goals for her. And like from Disney's perspective, from the story writer's perspective, it felt like she wants to work hard and that's really important, but you can't forget about marriage.
Right. Yeah.
Totally.
And like I try to give, I'm comparing it to like other arcs where like Belle, she's not necessarily looking for love, but she finds it on her adventure out into the world. And Ariel, she's not really necessarily looking for love. She just happens to find it when she wants to go on land and stuff. So it's an interesting comparison. And
I think that's the difference with all the princesses in Tiana, though, is all the other princesses, from what I can like think of right now and remember in my head, they all have a desire for something bigger than they are, whatever that is, but they don't know what it is. Tiana knows exactly what she wants.
Yes.
And that's why her finding love feels almost like a change in course for her.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. Thoughts on our villain, Dr. Facilier?
Dr. Facilier, he is one of those lovable villains,
Yes.
You can see his vulnerability from the very first time you see him on screen. Like you almost feel bad for him.
Yeah.
And I think that might have to do with the racial aspects of the story and of the time. But you can tell he is going about finding his own space in life and trying to overcome whatever his insecurities are the wrong way, using voodoo the wrong way.
Right.
But there's a lovability in him. It's almost as if he's the kind of character that some girls might say, I could change him,
I get that. Yeah. A few Disney villains are like that, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I almost wish we had more of him in the film. Like, I just remember, like, when they released, like, Friends on the Other Side, like, online as a clip back then, I was like, this guy is the coolest Disney villain ever. And I'm like, please just give me more of him.
I'm interested to know that the cut plot that they always talk about of him possibly being related to Mama Odie or being...
Yes.
I'm curious to see how that would have played out in the plot.
Yeah, I always wonder like what his origin story was. I don't want to put that out in the world because someone from Disney would be like, "Oh, we'll do a Maleficent style Dr. Facilier movie."
Oh gosh, we could.
So, everybody forget I just said that, please. One criticism I often hear about the film is they spend too much time as frogs. What's your opinion on that?
I agree.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of time that feels like it drags on from the perspective of just like it's a long time sitting down watching the movie, but also the scene specifically for me, I think I said this leaving the theater the very first time, is the frog catchers, the frog hunters. It just goes on for way too long. I understand that that's a moment for Tiana and Naveen to kind of have a common enemy and work together towards something, but it does go on for much longer than I think is necessary. Yeah,
it's a tone shift. It's very like slapstick. I guess it's for the younger kids in the movie theater.
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure. And then on the other side of that, the concept of people of color always being turned into animals in their movies, just I don't think it's intentional. I think it just happens to happen, and it's unfortunate. But with this plot line, they kind of had to.
Yeah. I do wonder what they could have done if they kept Tiana human for a little longer, and like what kind of arc they could do with like Naveen still as the frog for most of the film. Yeah,
you definitely could have seen Naveen living as a frog for a while before he ended up. Yeah.
Let's talk favorite scenes or moments from the film.
I thought about this earlier and I don't remember what I was going to say.
We can just grab the script off IMDb and go down.
The opening, the very beginning. I think the most fairy tale princess, adorable, like the mother making a dress, the little cut of the ribbon that's like reminiscent to Cinderella. The little girls seeing Tiana with her 2 teddy bears and Charlotte with her stack of dolls. I think it's so well set up. You can see everything about every character in that scene from that point. And the going into just her entire time as a child, but going into learning how to make gumbo with her dad, the neighborhood over to try it. That is something that I experienced as a kid. My grandma made gumbo, and the whole neighborhood would come over because you don't make gumbo for one person. That's not gumbo's for an army of people.
We didn't even talk about her father. I think her father is a great character, despite just the little amount of time we see him. But he is a driving force in the film.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. What do you think of like the opening song down in New Orleans?
Love it.
Yeah.
I wish Tiana was singing it, but I love it.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, it is. The singer is, I cannot remember his name right now, but the singer is a very famous New Orleans musician. And having Dr. John?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
But he's very well known, especially for that type of music in the area. So having him open it up is kind of like, he's like the spirit of New Orleans. And the movie is pretty much just as about New Orleans as it is about Tiana. So.
Right. Yeah. And it does establish like all our main players pretty well. Like it's kind of like it's almost like the opening song, the Bell song, and the Bells of Notre Dame in that sense. And I do love the last shot where Tiana's out, she's cleaning up the tables outside, and Naveen dances by, and then the LaBeoufs drive by, and then Dr. Cilliers are on the corner. I'm like, wow, you just got all the main players together in one single shot. That is amazing.
It's perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
So since we're talking about the music, thoughts on just music overall in the film?
The music is great. My only criticism for this movie is I love Randy Newman. I love the style of music. I wish it had more musical elements. I wish there was more of maybe an ensemble number, like a la Bell dialogue. I wish that there was more. But all the songs are kind of mostly standalone, except for I think they all start with speaking. But I just want more of a classic Broadway vibe. If it's not the style of music, obviously Zydeco's jazz is great.
Yeah,
I just really would like that.
Yeah, do you think Alan Menken could have done the music? Because I remember when I first heard Musker and Clemens are directing it. It's traditional hand-drawn animation. Randy Newman's doing the music. I'm like, one of those things is not like the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he was almost on board to do it, but he was doing Enchanted.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm like, put it on both.
Yeah. Not. I think, him and Steven Schwartz could have cooked something up. But
totally.
I think overall, if that means we have to lose some of the songs that we have now, I don't know if I want to wish for that. But how do you think this film is a reflection of your tastes in movies and stories?
That's a good question. I don't know if it is, because I feel this because I'm from Louisiana, and because I'm Black, and because I love Disney. It's kind of an automatic. I feel like I almost have to like it, which is kind of weird. But it is definitely something that, especially when the movie came out, everyone was like, "Kayla, that's you," and I'm like, "Yeah, yes, that's me." Yeah.
How did Disney overall just sort of inspire your career path?
Oh, it is my career path. My current career is on TikTok, so that's really just me, luckily, having the job where I just get to talk about what I'm interested in, and that is Disney. But my very first job ever was a parade performer at Disneyland.
Nice.
And then I went on to Tokyo Disneyland as a singer, and I worked at Shanghai Disneyland as a singer. And it's kind of like, if I'm looking for a job, I look to Disney because it's just my automatic place. So I would consider it to be like I had no other choice. I'm happy with that.
What parades and shows were you a part of?
I closed Celebrate, a street party. the infamous Celebrate Street party that was at Disneyland, as a stilt walker.
Wow.
And then I was in a Christmas fantasy parade every year that I was at Disneyland for 5 years. And I opened Soundsational as a court dancer with the princess unit.
Cool.
I also had a couple other roles in that as a swing and a sub. I did something else there, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. Halloween stuff. I did like Halloween cavalcades and special events and stuff.
Cool. Really cool. Any favorite pieces of trivia or fun facts from Princess and the Frog you'd like to share?
So we talked about Ron Clements, John Musker.
Mm-hmm.
I love their cameo in this movie. They are riding the Mardi Gras float with Triton. They're dressed as sea animals. I forgot which ones. And they're passing out beads, but they're on the King Triton float.
Yes.
Reminiscent of the movie that they also directed, The Little Mermaid. I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I do love when Mama Odie's going through stuff. You see her throw the lamp for a hot second, like past the snake juju. Yeah. Can you talk about what the original version of this film was going to be like, starring Maddie the maid, I guess?
Yeah. So originally the movie was supposed to be about a woman named Maddie who was a maid to Charlotte. I believe it was the same kind of idea. I don't know if she wanted to have a restaurant. I don't think that was a part of it, but she wanted to be royal or something. And what I've seen in the concept art, I might be wrong, but this is just what I've deduced from what I've read, is it looks like she tries on one of Charlotte's outfits or something like that, and that's how she makes the frog think that she is a princess. For sure. But I do know that Charlotte was more of a spoiled brat, not a spoiled sweet, as I like to say. And she worked for Charlotte but didn't like her. They weren't friends. She was definitely just a spoiled debutante. And Prince Naveen was Prince Harry. He was a white prince. He was, I think, European. Or like Northern European, maybe UK, something like that. And what else is there? I think that's all I know for sure that was different. I don't think that she became a waitress or wanting to own a restaurant. Well, she definitely wasn't a waitress because she's a maid until they went back to New Orleans and visited with Leah Chase. And that's when they decided to flip the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was was there a lot of backlash back when it was first announced?
Very, very much so. A lot of articles talking about you can't name her Maddie. That sounds like Mammy. That's a slave name. Talking about her being with a white prince, that he's a white savior then. He's just saving her from the situation. Her being a maid is just one step away from being a slave. A lot of backlash about that. And they listened. Changed it.
Bullet dodged. Forgive me, I did like a deep dive on your Princess and the Frog TikTok, so a lot of these questions come from your TikTok.
Okay.
Prince Naveen's race has been a big point of debate. Can you speak to that? Because this isn't something I had even picked up on until I heard you talk about it.
Yeah, I noticed it when people started fan casting live actions of everything. That's been the trend recently.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that, I knew from the beginning that he was racially ambiguous. Especially with his accent and his looks, he's always just meant to be kind of a Fez from that 70s show, just a generic foreign guy. Even if you read the newspaper, it says, you have to zoom in, but it says, nobody knows where Maldonia is, but that doesn't matter. Or it says something like that. It's really random. But a lot of people have strong opinions about what race he's supposed to be. But the creators of the film intentionally made him ethnically ambiguous because they wanted him to represent a lot of places, and they didn't want the white savior trope, and they also didn't want a lazy black prince. So they kind of went in the middle of something else, but they didn't really want to nail down what that was specifically. has aged strangely in 2026.
Yeah. And I remember you talking briefly about Princess and the Frog in Once Upon a Time, which I have not seen because I escaped from season 7. But how did they handle all that overall in the show?
I did the same thing. So I just started watching it again recently because I was like, I want to finish it. And I heard people bringing him up in my Prince Naveen Isn't Black videos. They're like, well, he is in Once Upon a Time. And I'm like, well, Once Upon a Time never is accurate to anything. They do what they want.
Yeah.
That's the joy of it. But yeah, in Once Upon a Time, season 7. Is it season 7? Yeah.
Yeah, season 7. Yep.
Season 7. They kind of like go into this alternate reality version of everything.
Right.
Where Henry's like, I want to find my own story, and I know that there's like alternate versions of different fairy tales. I know there's another Snow White out there. I want to find my own story. Maybe it's out there. And so he goes to like an alternate fairy tale universe where there's a new Cinderella and a new everybody, Rapunzel. So they basically recast it and told the story differently. And he ends up marrying Cinderella. And Tiana's story is not like at all the same.
No.
Like the only thing that's this, well, it's hard to explain. So Tiana is royalty. She is actually royalty. And she finds a frog and kisses. Wait. No, she finds a man who says he's a frog. And then there's another frog that she has to kiss. And then, spoiler alert, she kisses the frog, and then the other man turns back into a frog. So they were meant to be frogs. Like, that was their true form. But they're not tied to her at all. Like, she just helps them. And then they go on their way. So the frog part, not really part of her story. But in her Storybrooke version of their town, I forgot what it's called, she's a chef. It's hard to, it's so complicated, and it's not the same at all.
But it sounds like something Once Upon a Time would do. Yeah. Okay. So maybe, I don't know. I go back and forth on whether I want to watch season 7 or not. I think I'm leaning more towards no right now.
It's definitely something I forced myself to do.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Can you debunk the theory for us that Big Daddy LaBeouf could have bought Tiana's restaurant? Or was it, I think I've heard two things, that he could have bought the restaurant or he was the one that outbidded her?
Yeah, I think a lot of people miss. So I don't know if this is like a Black culture thing that we just recognize, but the line of a woman of your background was intentional. That's something that I heard growing up, background, as a polite referral to my race. So that line was in there on purpose to kind of acknowledge, well, you are Black, so you can't do this. You know, the divide of all of that. People, for some reason, believe when they say you were outbid that they're telling the truth. But I've watched this scene so many times to try to like see if I was wrong or not. But they make this face when she says like, I have the money, let me know when you want me to sign it. I hope you brought the papers. They make this face like, oh, I didn't think we'd have to deal with this again.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, about that.
Yeah, about that. When they say you were outbid, they're like, yeah, you were outbid. Like, it's very much just a lie. Like that, she was not outbid. And the reason for sure is at the end of the movie, they're holding the key, and Lewis scares them into handing it over. So if she was outbid, they wouldn't have the key anymore.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But people want to say that Big Daddy LaBeouf was just there supporting her and was quietly trying to buy the restaurant for her, and was going to surprise her. And one, that's a white savior story that's unnecessary. And two, I think people forget, like, some people are just rich and don't really think about other people's poorness or struggles, and that doesn't make them bad. That's their money and that's their life, and they do what they want with it. I'm sure if she was like, could you help me, he would have, but that's not who she is.
Right. She never wanted help.
Yeah.
All right. Theory debunked. Okay. All right. Now we get to talk about Disney parks. Thoughts on Tiana's Bayou Adventure?
I have not experienced it yet in person. I have watched it on YouTube many times. But what I've seen, it's disappointing, unfortunately. I of course, the change to Tiana, great. I was like, that'll be fun. The storyline that they went with was, it's too simple for me. And it also feels like, it doesn't feel like Tiana. I played Tiana in the parks for a little bit, and I studied her a lot at the time from her perspective. And I felt like her character has changed. Her in the pantsuit with the short hair, looking around for
It's like she's looking for a spice or something.
Well, the original plot was, what they released was, they're looking for a secret spice, and at the end they find out the spice was like life and music or something. Like that's what that last song is. And I think it was written on that original plot. Your very special spice gives us a treat, whatever. But they flipped it. Instead of looking for spices, they're looking for people to play in the band for the party that night. And I think that the plot is just really jumbled. And I think, it's my personal opinion, but I don't really love the whole, like, you have to help us plot line of
I feel like that's something we see a lot of in the Disney rides. Kind of. Yeah.
But the, come on, you have to help me thing. But what we have to help her with doesn't feel like it's that important for us to be there, you know? The adventure is lacking, and the storyline attached to the overlay for the Splash Mountain ride, it just felt very like, what should we put here? That's how it feels to me personally.
Okay. I also have yet to ride on it. Hopefully me and my wife are going to go in the fall, and we'll see what it's like. Yeah.
I'll do it soon, yeah. Hopefully I can go this year.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'll be like, oh, I get it. Maybe it's just I haven't seen it because it's through a screen. But
I never even went on the original Splash Mountain, so...
What?
I know. I never wanted to get wet.
That's fair.
All right. So do you think we need more, less? Do we have enough Princess and the Frog in the park?
I can only speak for Disneyland because I don't know World so much, but Disneyland, I think there's a lot of her. It's just, it's not the version of Tiana that I know as Tiana. It's kind of a change. I don't love her look in the park. I don't recognize her as easily. Because if you meet her at her restaurant, she's wearing kind of like a shorter dress with short hair, and she looks more like her mother, in my opinion. Just the way that they've styled her. I would like to see her like her end of the movie outfit with her hair up, the little green flowing, whatever. But her presence in the parks is a lot. Like, she has a restaurant and she has the ride. And is that it?
I didn't even know there was a restaurant, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, she has a restaurant.
Yeah.
At least at Disneyland she does.
And I think they were on the Rivers of America for a while. I don't remember.
They had a Rivers of America show when they first released the movie. That was a full show with dancers and singers and musicians. And then after that closed, they had like a shortened version of it that was on the Rivers of America. And then they had one that was just like a little parade. Like a parade near the Rivers of America that was like we walk down the street, sing a song, sing, and then leave again. She's had some shows.
Okay.
Version.
Cool. Yeah. Thoughts on the shelved Disney Plus series?
Disappointed, but also, if it was going to be the same, like, her going on adventures thing and changing, like, Tiana's storyline, I don't know if that's why it got canceled. I have no idea. But I am disappointed. I wanted to see more of her. For sure.
I always wonder, like, if they could have did what they did with Moana 2 and just taken, like, the episodes and just, like, reconstructed it into a Princess and the Frog 2.
Definitely. They could have. Oh. I'm curious to know if it was just, like, I don't know, the reaction to the Bayou Adventure attraction and all of that they just decided not to. I have no idea.
Yeah, I would love to see these characters again in some form. Speaking of these characters in some form, thoughts on the long-rumored live-action remake of this film?
Please, no, God, no. Please, God, no.
Yeah.
Because, and I talked about this already earlier, because this movie is so realistic, because so much of it relies on, it's April 25th, 1926. Like, I know exactly the day in New Orleans. I know the street that it's on. I know everything that's going on in this movie. For them to make a live action of it on the first half of the movie, it's like, it wouldn't be for kids anymore, I don't think, or at least appropriate if they really were to do it well and correctly. And then on the side of their frogs for most of the movie, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. So I hope
the CGI would not. I don't know. I think Lion King remake, and I'm like, no, can't do it.
Because if they went realistic frog, like Flounder.
Oh my God, no.
For that long, that's too much.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Please don't do it.
Please, God, no.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any like favorite Princess and the Frog like merchandise or memorabilia in your like collection?
I have some stuff. I got this when I was playing. I don't know if you can see it. There. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
When I was playing Tiana at Shanghai, I wore this outfit, and so I had this little next to me. I have a Facilier too that I got on accident. I don't know where it came from, but I have it.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
It's like a little precious moment.
Yeah. It's in Shanghai, like they have just everything. I don't know if it's like specifically a brand or anything. There's nothing on it. I have this little girl.
Awesome.
I had her in my backpack. Oh, here's my backpack. This is my favorite one because it's...
Ooh. I love the green. Just the green aesthetic, yeah.
Because I've seen the Loungeflies that are like a picture of her or something like that, and I was like, I just like that it's just her dress. And then I have... This is my favorite, actually. This shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. This is what she wears in Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph
Oh,
Racing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
she's like this with her little yellow pants. And I saw it. It's from... I thought it was Cakeworthy. I might be wrong, though. It was a lot. I got it years and years and years ago. Cut off the sleeves, and I was like, I want to be like her when I relax and chill. And this is my husband's, but I wear it anyway. I don't know if you could see it.
I see, it's like her restaurant type. There we go, it's Tiana's Palace. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
I have stuff.
Yeah. I didn't even ask, what was it like to play Tiana in Shanghai Disney?
Oh, it was crazy. Because, like, I've always loved her, and I never thought that I would actually get to play her because I was told, like, that I don't look like her. And I agree. I shouldn't play her because of my skin tone and my whatever. But playing her in Shanghai, I was on stage, I was singing, and I was fine with that. But I got to go through, like, the face character training process, and that was very enlightening. I like watching the movie for my job, like, over and over again, and being told what to look out for and all that kind of stuff, like having to copy her voice was really cool. It was nice, and I loved the show that I did. I performed Almost There into Dig a Little Deeper with a bunch of dancers and stuff.
Cool.
Like in a restaurant setting. I felt very much like Belle in Be Our Guest.
Okay.
And she was always my favorite before, so it was fun. It was really
Really nice. What are some of the film's more important themes to you?
But you elaborate on that question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, so, like, what's some of, like, the messages, or, like, what's, like, the big takeaways from the story that matter most to you?
Yeah, it's a hard question for me because I've almost over-dissected it to the point where it's difficult to, like, wait, what is the theme here? I think it's changed depending on whose perspective I'm watching the movie from. From my perspective, it was just getting to see a person of color in animation with Disney leading a film, seeing Black representation just in that medium is just rare. But it's nice hearing people who grew up with the movie talking about how they feel like they relate to her so much more, and they've grown with her so much more because she's so much more real, and she wants to work hard, and that's an actual tangible goal that they can see. So the themes of working hard are nice, if I look at it from that perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you hope the film's place in Disney history is? Like, what do you hope, like, film historians see when they look back on this film?
Definitely a representation for Black people. Also, I think a lot of people, when they talk about it, talk about the fact that it was meant to be the last hand-drawn animated movie. I think that's where it lives on the timeline, for sure.
Yeah.
Animation. I hope it's not. I hope
so, too. Yeah. I think there was that Winnie the Pooh movie that came out afterward, but they dropped it the same weekend as the last Harry Potter. And so, like, when it did poorly, they were like, oh, see, nobody likes hand-drawn animation anymore. So, yeah. I really want to see more Disney hand-drawn animation. I know Wish tried to make it look like hand-drawn animation, but, yeah. I know you talk a lot about Wish, too. And I was like, man, I could do an episode on Wish. I know it's called Movies That Matter, and Wish is... Anyway, that could be a special episode down the line.
I've watched it and hated it so much that I kind of love it now. Like I found the beauty in it.
Yeah, because I remember when I first watched it, and I'm like, this isn't bad. And then like a couple of watches later, I'm like, all right. But back to
4 watches, I think you'll love it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm on 3, so one more. Okay. Why do you think people should see The Princess and the Frog if they haven't?
Oh, I have made so many people watch this movie.
Good.
You said, do I watch? I had like a full movie night like a couple weeks ago around Mardi Gras time, where I made gumbo and king cake, and I made everyone sit and watch Sinners and then Princess and the Frog, because I feel like those are both very important movies for understanding, for me personally, just understanding me, but understanding New Orleans as a culture and understanding how special it is there. It's a really magical place. It really, really is.
That's another one we could do an episode on. I love Sinners. Great movie. How would you pitch this movie to audiences? How would you prepare someone to watch Princess and the Frog?
It depends on who I'm saying it to, because there's so many aspects of it and so many elements of this movie where I can hype up the friendship between Charlotte and Lottie, or Charlotte and Tiana. I can hype up the music. I can hype up the beautiful animation. If I'm sitting down and someone said, I've never heard of that, what is that? I don't know. It's just an incredibly well done story. And it's a classic from the jump. It's one of the best Disney animated movies ever made.
Yeah.
And if you like Disney, you should see it.
All right. Perfect. Yeah, I think that's perfect. And last question, why does Princess and the Frog matter to you?
It changed my life in multiple ways. Not only my career, but the way I see myself and the way I feel about who I am. Being a Disney girl and being Black, there was always a little bit of me that felt like I didn't belong in my own body. But seeing someone that looks like me on screen, singing in a Disney movie, I felt like I finally belonged.
Perfect. Kayla, this was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'd love to have you back again for another one. We could either talk about Wish or Sinners or another Disney movie. Yeah, be great. But again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you for listening to another episode of Movies That Matter on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. Please give Kayla a follow at Kayla the Show on TikTok. As for me, you can find Movies That Matter Pod on Instagram, and if you have any questions, comments, or movie recommendations, send an email to moviesthatmatterpod@gmail.com. You can also be my friend on Letterboxd at Chris Loves Films. Loves is spelled L-U-V-S. As of this recording, my last 4 watches were The Princess and the Frog, Obsession, Hairspray, and Zero Dark 30. Folks, the world is scary, and it's not getting any less scary. Please be kind to each other, and when you need to, escape into your favorite movie or piece of media. Have a good laugh, have a good cry, whatever you need. Don't worry about box office numbers or Rotten Tomatoes scores. Just watch what you love. Entertainment is subjective, and that's not a bad thing. Until next time, this has been Chris Flaherty with Kayla Pierce. Thank you for listening to Movies That Matter.